to form, much in the same way that Panker was able to get back to form, this could actually be a very quick 3-0.
Very well. It also depends where Hadan shows up here. Hidan, I think he's, I mean, he's an old guard Zen player, an old guard flex support player, and sometimes when he just pops off, he can carry the second win squad through a lot of fight leads.
He's been looking good for second win for sure. I think they might be a little bit more than that. Second win, still running Frill on main tank. The swap over has been real. He's under a lot of heavy shield pressure here early on. God's just working the shield here with Sharik, and they're using the just kind of bully second win a bit off the point here early on. Hidan under pressure, and Montreal bringing this back over to the point and applying point pressure now. Second one as Hidan's already almost down.
Very, very well. The Discord is also on right now, trying to make sure they can't be too aggressive. Discord under Frill. Again, no bubble to cleanse. And the focus fire is so strong for Montreal, along with the first cap.
I'll give second win a bit of credit there at the very least, in that even under heavy pressure, no one fell until later on. The problem is that Montreal was still able to get a really big edge, use that to rotate over on second one.
Especially with the early damage on the Hidan. When your backline is low, your front line doesn't want to move forward. And that was a lot of pressure on the Hidan that denied second win the opportunity to, effectively contest.
So Montreal, pretty good spot here. Logic's gonna be holding on to the Graviton. Transcendence out or no, not Transcendence. Rally out pretty early here for Rebellion. They're gonna hold it on back. Shatter in, knocking down 2 for second win. And Montreal Rebellion not going too crazy and following it up. Instead, just gonna back up. Shatter back the other way. Second win gonna use Transcendence. Both teams using Transcendence. Montreal invests as well. Self-destruct over the top. God's looking for it. Over and in. Not quite gonna get what he's looking for, and God's just gonna be able to get back into mech.
No, he just did the water cycle cosplay right there. He's gone, evaporated, condensed, whatever you want to say. Probably not.
Probably not condensed. I don't think that's what we're looking for here. But Montreal, they're down Gods. It's gonna make it a lot harder for them to do well in the shield war. And Halo, this is gonna be booping Logics off the side of the map. Shatter from Shrieker, no, there's just not gonna be the follow through. The team not there anymore.
And the grab bomb combo for both teams did not achieve very much, but it was all because of God's positioning when setting up the bomb. They can punish him afterwards, they can move forward from there, they have the better shield presence, and good boot from Halo as well. Halo is a player that, he was on NRG previously, he was a ladder star that was scouted, very high mechanical ability.
And I mean, it just helps anytime you're able to get boop off the ledge like that. Logic's running pretty aggro here. Montreal not wasting any time, taking the fight directly to the point. I think they know second wind is really ready. Otherwise, they've tracked them pretty well. Transcend's gonna be out here early. Hidan though, no Transcend's, no fight. Counters Transcend's for Transcend. Rally gonna be on both sides here. Naga gonna fall. Frill able to find him. Second wind getting back into the game here. They were down quite a bit in progress, but now one more fight. That's all gonna be evened up.
Well, the grab, the rally for technique as well. Just cleaning up the fight there on the point after that initial Montreal aggression. And they're getting pretty equalized in the time bank here. Montreal are going to have to look for their opening now that they know there's no grab. It's their spot for Logics to build a grab of his own, get it out, because they know Hidan also does not have defense.
Montreal not going to waste any time. Again, diving over. Sharik gonna be looking for a Shatter. Frill dropping a Shatter in turn. Both Shadows going to be out here. Halo using the barrier to cover. They move back out into Montreal, and Montreal, they also don't have to sustain the deal with the barrier there. They fall to the heavy pressure coming in from second win.
Neither Ryan getting any value from the Shatter either. But the barrier is out. There is no barrier. This stagger kills though. Stagger kills late onto Goliath. It's not much, but that extra percentage can be all that they need for second wind to continue to build those ults to have a retest later on down the line. Izar getting close to a grab of his own.
Next fight almost certainly going to be deciding this one here. Second win, of course, on the verge. They might be able to get back in if Montreal wins this, but the positioning is going to be tough. Very likely, all comes down to this. Logic's going to set the grab.
Logic's grab here is the crux. It's the focal point here for Montreal. They should know there's no beat for Halo, though Hidan does have that to set this up.
Coming out here first for second win. Once you have the Transcendence on the outside, Gods letting the self-destruct to the back, all shielded off. And already Sharik down in the fight, so Montreal in a tough spot. And this is so good for Montreal. As you see that technique, it's able to go in, finish off on the Brigida, and second win. They've brought back this round. They're gonna take it away from Montreal.
Izar's grabs have been so huge so far in this fight. He's been putting them constantly on corners where they can set up the charge kill, where they can split the trance, where they can split the healing. Getting one frag early, that's all you need in those sort of fights where you both teams have grabs or both teams have those trances up. Gives you such a huge advantage.
Second wind, able to fight back, and this is an improved second wind team where I might be misremembering, but I don't think Technique was on the team back in the last map of the regular season.
No, Ezire was, I believe, on the Brigida duty in A10
so they
with
swapped up
Zarya.
Ezire in his role, and it's definitely working out a lot better for Ezire compared to what he was doing in the Brigida role. And technique has also been pretty consistent for second win here.
Now the second wind up. 1 round on Lijiang, moving into the control center here. Montreal not running standard through 3. God's on the Mei. And second wind, this is the moving castle. We've seen it before.
I did not think they'd be going moving castle for real here, but that's going to be the case. We're going to be using the Immortality Field from Batiste, of course, now newly added for playoffs here in Contenders, and use this to just isolate space on the point. And if you're Montreal, you swap.
Montreal, they're hard committed. They really just want to use the Mei wall. And they do. They get so much value, bringing technique above the shield and finishing him off.
That's one of those older school pub strategies where you can use the wall to put Bastion in the bad spot, and you take a look at what second wind's running. They don't have a mercy to bring Bastion back up the way a lot of Bastion cops do. Goliath gonna pile on, and I think second wind they're gonna swap. They have to swap.
I mean, as soon as the Bastion is gone, second wind's comp entirely falls apart. The Orisa will not be able to stand up to Shriek on the Rhine. Barbecue on Sim is unlikely to be winning any duels. I mean, you can get a lot of shield presence, get a very high charge left click. And Montreal, most importantly for the comp, is they won first fight and they controlled the choke as Mei.
Yeah, running the Mei here, this is completely a best case scenario. Second win going to be way behind an ult economy on a map that's already super hard to retake. I can't overemphasize what a hole that second wind has put themselves in here. Goodbye. What a split. Oh boy.
That's all you need. Just need to get one. Logic's getting some farm kills there. Moving this spawn to get a little poke. They have to grab up Halo.
What?
Deep into this guy. I mean, he's safe there. He is safe. You can't get him.
Just hanging out. Try and rollerblade. I'm actually that dexterous.
I am that dexterous. I'd be very impressed if you could scale the building and roller skate.
I think you'd just be impressed if I could roller skate.
I would be impressed with that.
Look at coming off here. Montreal diving in right after. Second win though, able to get one early. 5-on-5, Graviton still invested here for Montreal. They're going to get the cleanup they're looking for. So even with a good amount of people getting through the wall, it's still good control coming in from Montreal and wins them the fight.
They had the ults they needed to. I mean, they had grab. They didn't have to commit anything else other than the grab. A lot of early presence there. Gods is there to clean up despite Shriek falling. Second Wind in a rough spot. Look at their ult game. Their ult game, they just have not gotten anything. They've just been constantly losing fights. The fights have been lasting long enough for them to actually build anything.
So they force out the wall early. God's not going to get the split he's looking for.
Look for the Blizzard, though.
But yeah, he has the Blizzard. He just needs to not have it get eaten. Drops the Blizzard, and even as more of a zoning Blizzard, it's going to be forcing them back. They get a freeze, and that's all they needed. Oh, and they get the wall on the other side. Shriek. I don't even think he needed the Shatter there, to be honest.
Didn't necessarily need to, but it's fine to just clean up fast. Montreal did invest 3 ults in that fight. Second Wind still have not gotten either support ult, by the way, ZP, which is so huge, and how brutal this hold is with the Mei.
And I think Montreal, they realize that they are going to have a bit of an ulti spam. What just happened? Did Halo just get double booped? He just flew off the side.
Halo got launched. Yes, he did. He did, in fact, just get launched.
It wasn't entirely indoors. I'd say he's in orbit right now. I don't know exactly where Halo went. I know what he was. He wasn't on the point.
Wasn't on point. Yeah, we know that much. And that is sort of the brutality of winning the first with Mei on Control Center, is that when you control those chokes and you're having trouble getting through, you're not getting effective rotations, it's so strong.
So both teams showing some decent stuff here early on. It's all going to get down to a round 3. Of course, the winner of this matchup getting to play against Fusion University tomorrow. So not an easy road by any means for either team, but you would like to get through the quarterfinals if possible.
Logic's on Ashe, Naga on Pharah, both heroes. We haven't seen so much Ashe from Logic, realistically, but we know he's very good at it. And Naga also, we've seen his Pharah previously, and it's very, very good as well.
I mean, this is the Logic's liberation strategy, where Logic's gets to be out on Zarya, gets to go to his game DPS, which is more of his bread and butter.
And Naga, so hurt. Look how hurt Frill is right now. He's on this fight all. He gets hunted down.
Yeah, Frill gets hunted down by Shriek, and I think it was Logic's also adding a lot of the damage in there. And this is sort of a multiple threat setup where if you go for Logic's and ignore Naga, a lot of the Rockets are going to be hurting you, and vice versa.
Halo trying to get those boots. He does actually get the boot. They're going to be controlling the point right now. They've won the point fight. Naga still getting a lot of spam damage, getting 2. So much damage for Naga. He has the ult here as well. Is Montreal there to support him? He's going to drop it actually anyways. And that's going to be enough for Montreal. They very quickly retake. It's rare to see a retake, and of only 8% being done by the other team. Very long fight. Second Wind to get the first cap, partially because of that huge value boot from Halo on the bridge. But now with Montreal holding the point, their comp becomes so much stronger. The Ashe Pharah is so much damage across the map. A lot of spam damage.
Very, very good dynamite. Off from Logic. Look at how quickly his ult built. He just landed one right there.
Right now, they're just going to be spamming. Continue to set up the delay. Continue to just fight. Here's the engage. Halo trying to contest the Pharah. Not getting much. The Nano's out for Hedan. You see the Primal committed for Frill. Trying to get the move off of the Logics. He still has the shift.
Oh, wait. Oh,
Wasn't able to save himself.
Went in for the rebound. And yet Montreal still at the one point as it goes down, but probably not for a whole lot longer.
And you see right now, second win, they're just continuing to clean up on the point. Still fighting. The focus fire, very, very good for them. You see the Primal come out for Sharik. Now it's just pure delay for Montreal. They're not going to be able to win the fight on point. These are also going to be coming back on McCree, just making sure to clean it up.
That was a good run of range,
Out of my way.
It doesn't quite work out the way you'd want, but that bought them another good 20%. If I'm Montreal, I'm happy with that, but they're going for the full swap. They don't want to run an Ashe on the retake.
No Ashe on the retake here for Montreal. You're making the swap as well onto the Brigitte. Actually, the anti comes out very, very early. They can't follow up though. Second win, they're still playing the point. There is no setup there for them. With Gods having this bomb, I would not be surprised at all for the bomb to come out. Just get in the zone.
Get in there.
Nano boost early, goes on the Frill, and very, very damaging. Montreal back, but also what to expect here. Montreal had to give up most of their progress. They're gonna have 1, 2, 3 tough fights. That's the penalty you pay when you decide to go DPS and then you have to swap.
Second win still controlling this point very, very effectively. Using the Primal, using the Nano to win the fight. Boops being traded for both Lucios. Goliath is going to have that Transcendence up though, and there is no grab for Ezire, which means they have the ability to get to the point. They have the ability to sustain.
Get back in the fight.
No follow through at all. Second win still holding on point. They know they don't want to commit into that room. They don't want to get it out of LOS for Hidan. There's the bomb out.
Aga able to take down his counterpart on the other side. Montreal coming in hot. Logic charged up, moving in. Montreal, they found a very good engagement. Bro, almost knocked off the side, getting humped back in, but didn't have the HP to really do anything. And Montreal, they've gotten over the hurdle where they fully swapped comps, but they've gotten the retake. Now 97-63. It's going to come down to one final fight, and Montreal is well geared for this fight.
Montreal's relatively geared, but the biggest thing they don't have is Transcendence. They don't have Transcendence. Ezire is coming up on the grab. They have, and second win, most importantly, has time to take a fight here. They do have time. They have to take it very, very fast. The longer they wait, the closer they're going to get to one fight territory.
Montreal, more back give Goliath time to get Transcendence. Because you have to imagine that the track Ezire having grabs, and that's why they're playing so passively in the back.
Here comes the rally out technique. They're just trying to sustain on point, get here, set up the contest. Ezire, their focus is on Ezire for second win. They need to enable him. They need to set up this grab. They know Goliath does not have trans just yet.
Meanwhile, God's playing he doesn't realize that Ezire doesn't have it yet. Half this that he does. Shatter! Evie coming down, knocks Halo right to the ground. Fall through on it.
Огонь по готовности.
Get it. Now talking to coming in. Grabs Transcendence, Goliath was able to build it up in time. Bomb from Gods picks off one. Second win. A very tough spot right now. They're down. Ezire, the ground shot, not doing what they wanted to do.
And right now, there's just cleanup here for Montreal. They're still fighting on point. They have their players alive. So much shield presence onto Frill. Frill charging, his shield broken. He's cleaned up there. There's the bomb as well, trying to split them. Not able to get onto the point. And Montreal winning that fight there on the point. Getting the cleanup. First map going the way of Montreal. Very, very good focus fire. Their tank play for Montreal so important there. Winning the fights they needed to. Their triple DPS gambit not working out all the way, but getting them enough cap to where they had time to recontest.
Worked out well for them, to be sure. And Montreal, I mean, as good as they played here, you do also have to give credit to Second Wind, where Second Wind, again, they had to rebuild most of their roster here. And certainly, of course, losing the tank line, very, very difficult for them.
Very, very difficult indeed. Montreal coming out swinging. And Second Wind, you know, with their roster swaps with Ezire now making the move onto the Zarya, has been very consistent. He's actually has done up very good grabs there on that control. Hopefully they can continue to enable him as they move forward. They need to make the swaps they need to. They need to deny God some of the value he's getting along with Sharik.
So we're going to be taking a quick break. When we come back, map 2 going to be heading your way. And we are back after map 1. We had to figure out a weird disturbance in the universe, which was that I was being quiet for a change. And
It is interesting. Actually, it wasn't so much you being quiet. We just decided it would be more fun for us to share my microphone.
Yeah,
and that's what
true.
the people want. We want some more intimate casting duo moments.
It is true.
It's very Valentine's Day-esque. But it is a very, very good performance as well for Montreal. When we talk about interesting performances, they've looked great. Second window, putting up a solid fight.
Yeah, Second Wind doing a lot more than expected, where really for Second Wind right now, you can't really go and, man, what are you guys doing? It's like, well, they're trying to adapt to making a whole lot of roster changes, but so far it has been reasonably effective for them. And I would say the biggest change that we noticed, of course, is that Ezire in a different role now, and they brought in Technique, and that swap has made their play a bit more consistent, I would say.
It has. I think Ezire he's a DPS player at heart, not a Brigida player. And some players have had issues making those role swaps because you have to change your whole mindset. You have to change a lot of your mindset when you go from I'm fragging, I'm getting supported, and I'm just making sure not to die. Brigitte still has that same condition, don't die, but also you're now supporting your team and have an alternating role between helping both your backline and front line.
So now we head in the Blizzard world where, again, remember that this is single elimination playoffs. Second win, their season on the line. Montreal, of course, they were lucky to get into playoffs, really, where they made the roster change late into the season and, you know, everything aligned to where they were able to just sort of squeak in at the very end. But they got in as a dark horse, a team that looked very, very scary after getting Shriek and Gods onto the roster. And now if they beat Second Win, who knows how far they'll go. I don't think they would beat Fusion University, but I don't think it's impossible either.
They could at least put up, I think, a very, very solid game. See, Halo, he's having some trouble with the grapple, but he wants to scout, maybe get a quick shot off. Gonna be making the swap now back onto it. Second Win going through 3.
You can tell that he's not playing a whole lot of Widow.
No, not a Widow player. Montreal also on this 3-3, but Goliath on the Ana instead. We've seen Ana defensively come out a lot more for teams as the meta has progressed. Allows you to sustain, allows you to take a long fight and build the nano.
Second Win not gonna wait too long. Start challenging point here. Heavy pressure. Moving on the Shriek, they go for the displacement, and Shriek is able to back it on out a bit. More damage hanging on the Gods from the other direction. Second Win, though, has to be careful not to get turned on by Montreal, as both teams right now just exchanging poke, and Montreal able to back out, reset a bit. They might even give up a tick on the point, but that's fine as long as it gives them a good re-engage. I think they will, given how much damage Shriek just took.
I mean, the nano is also up for Goliath right now, but Hidan, Transcendence, almost up in return.
Using now boost here. Shriek moving on in. Second Win just going, all right, we're gonna back out until Shriek stops blowing electric here. And that nano boost is long gone, but the shatter gonna be coming in. Doesn't do a whole lot. Graviton, though, in from Montreal. They use to take down Halo. Shatter from Thrill, though, off the other side, knocks down 3. And Second Wind off Thrill Shatter. Even while stuck in the grab, it's going to be doing enough.
And that is the power difference. Sort of the win condition difference. When you see the difference when Zen and Ana, sure, they got the grab off, they were able to get the charge, but the counter grab, getting so much more value for Ezire because you don't have a Transcendence. You don't have a defensive ult just yet. Tensa did not have the beat in time. So Montreal losing first off of that. They didn't get a lot of value from their nano in particular. Having to hold here on second, try to catch him as his choke, try to test the card instantly.
Pretty decent time right now, 4.5 minutes. They're going to rally and just take the fight straight to Montreal, moving forward. Shriek in a rough spot, taken on down. Very nice rally engage coming up from Feng.
A good rally engage, able to split off Shriek and catch him as he tries to charge to get off. You've seen these stagger frags come out too from Ezire. Part presence still in the way for Second Win. Montreal, they're not happy with that engagement, I don't think. I think using the rally to win that fight so decisively, getting some stagger kills there as well, and Second Win, their ult bank is just continuing to build.
And the problem for Montreal is that after they've lost the early poke fight, they really haven't been able to find their footing. You have Grav Bomb combo coming up here, and you gotta look to Logix.
Logix does need to land a pretty solid grab here. They also could use Naga's rally, force early cooldowns, maybe even get the beat or the trance out of Hidan or Halo. Have a much better combo. Right now, Montreal just idling on cart, waiting to set up this engagement. And
I mean, as defense, they're not necessarily going out of their way to be super aggressive here. They're more than willing to just drain the time so long as they're not on the verge of losing the force. Shriek shield, though, getting pretty low. It's dangerous. They're getting cutting grab first. Last is going to immediately transcend. Self-destruct right in their face, getting shielded on off. They had the player support ult to heal the self-destruct, but here comes Shriek. Drops a shatter. Lets Montreal move forward, and off Shriek's hammer. It's going to be enough.
That is a good counter shatter for Shriek. And you talked about how Montreal had the layer support ults. That's fine. In that scenario, both teams layering the support ults, you have to do that when the grab combo is out. If you time it perfectly, you will survive, along with your other cooldowns. Shriek Shatter just so good for the counter engagement. Also, more importantly here, they used Transcendence in the last fight. Look where Goliath is at. He's way above what to be expected for using Transcendence just a few moments ago. Second Win, knowing that they just traded so many ults in the last fight. Well, I was about to say that. We're going to say, let's use the rally, but Technique is dead. Takes a lot of early damage, goes down. Here comes the chase for Montreal, getting these stagger frags. Logic's looking much more in form, and I think it's because of all that crouching. Yeah, that's a CPR. Just making sure his crouch key still works. To be able to take life from other people, you have to know how to restore life. That's why he was doing CPR. That is the Logic's way. The Logic's giveth, the Logic taketh away. Perfectly logical as well. Fits with his narrative. Montreal holding very close to the spawn now that they have that. They're putting a lot of early presence onto Thrill, a lot of shield pressure. forcing the rotation for second win. Are they going to chase this group? No, they're going to isolate Nadan there.
And it works. They get down now the fight early, but it might be a little bit too deep. Naga is down, and Montreal, they're quickly going, all right, let's try and back this up a bit. Logic's still holding on to grab. Does he go try and maybe use here? I don't think it's the right move, especially when now Tariq is down. Debatable how much value they had there, but they should be able to get back out before second is truly in danger.
I think that's a relatively solid value because they forced Technique to use Rally so they could make sure they could win the post fight, and they bought a lot of time off the clock when they weren't pushing cart. They weren't having cart presence.
So Montreal gonna be heading back out. Combo in reserve. Second win moving forward. An early shatter attempt by Frill, and not gonna amount to anything. Just shielded on off. Montreal now. Don't worry about that. Shriek, drop his shadow zone, puts Technique on the ground. Meanwhile, the Graviton out on the way. Well, Transcendence in here, and Barbecue able to get one off the self-destruct. Montreal not entirely clean on this fight, not getting too much off their grab. God's even looked for the combo instead. Goes for a lot of self-destruct. Shriek gets two on the other side. Bomb still in play. Not even gonna matter.
Shriek so aggressive here on these fights. Also able to have a great shatter. Keep Izar on the ground, get him cleaned up. And without an Izar, it's very tough for second win to win that fight. Now having to come back in, getting close to last fight territory. I mean, it's going to be pretty much last fight territory by the time second win get out of spawn. Montreal, they have double supportal, they have shadow, they have what they need to set up Shriek. Shriek should not have to fear Frill at all. Naga's rally here going to be so important to just get the shield presence, get the frontline presence, and put Shriek in the position to get a good shatter. And
I wouldn't say that Joel for Shriek is full Joel mode in terms of hitting shatter and cooldown, but he's pretty aggressive at letting it fly once it's built up. So I don't imagine he's going to wait too long here. Already sort of sizing up second win. Frill at 80% though, as Shriek is waiting and almost looking like he's going to go off to the side. Just looking for a fire strike, and this should be the last fight for point B, one way or another. Earlier barrier in here from Montreal, they're moving forward. Shriek still looking for the shatter. Graviton can be invested, already two down as Montreal like a whole lot of pressure. And that shatter will be the dagger directly to the heart of second.
Going down, not there. They are going to get that one frag, but this is just cleanup from Montreal. Montreal just having the much better engagement. They forced the rally early from Technique to get in. They're able to engage with the beat. They can focus down the Diva mech, which is exactly what they do. They remove Barbecue from mech, which means free grab for Logics. Slowly but surely, they just win the fight with the better sustain.
And we also talked about redemption stories, of course, earlier in the day, but looking at Logics right now, I'm not going to say it's entirely a full return to form, because return to form the Logics is just completely destroying the opposition in all ways, where he, at one point, is one of the most dominant players in the game if you go far enough back. But I do think Logics is looking overall cleaner today than he has in some of the previous outings, where it felt like he lost his way for a few games in Montreal.
I think part of that is also because Montreal's front line was struggling a bit, their original front line. They had some struggles, and as Zarya, you're relying on your front line in a lot of ways to get that energy for you, to set up those plays, especially your grabs. You can't effectively be as aggressive as Logic is, gets the value that Logic often has without a good front line, without something shielding you, enabling you.
And he certainly has that now with Gods and Shriek, where, you know, a huge reason why Second Wind is even in the playoffs right now is that Gods and Shriek used to play for the other team.
I wonder if they have any insider info on how this team is operating necessarily, but considering the roster is so completely different, I don't think it would matter at all whatever insider info they have in terms of the workings of Second Wind.
I mean, the most would be is that they'd have some insight into how the coaching staff likes to organize things, but as you say, it's almost a completely different team, so how much does that info really help in the end? Probably not as much as you might think. Now it's going to be Montreal here on the attack. We'll see if this is actually what they're going to be running out with here. Could just be scouting. Never can really assume with the Sombra until Logic actually stays on it for a while. But he's going to get a good measure of the defense here now.
I mean, this setup looks like a pretty standard triple DPS setup for Montreal. I think Logic will be staying on this because when you're on bunker comp, because Second Wind is currently on bunker comp, your goal is a pressure point. Make them rotate to you. He gets hit.
Oh,
that was great. That was a really, really good hook, but they couldn't clean it up.
Well, the thing about the hook there is that even though you don't get the pick off, Logics have to go all the way back to spawn. So it still buys you good time, and they dealt with the pressure on the point. They don't give up a tick for free. Montreal, though, for now, going to be sticking with this composition.
They are. I mean, their spam is great right now. Naga's already at 80%. Oh. They are able to hit with the Bastion gone, with Technique off the field. This is a free push.
No, there is no res.
There is no res.
Not at least. So,
Batiste on.
Yeah, Second Wind, they're completely fine. Or Montreal completely fine here. They don't have to worry about the Bastion being res. God's forward, Naga, the barrage in reserve. Resurrection gonna be coming on up. It's too much pressure. God's landing arrow after arrow right now. And this is gonna be an easy first point take here for Montreal. Amp Matrix to know it's not gonna be enough to turn the tide.
There's not God's Dragon Strike as well. Cleaning up all these frags. Naga saving the barrage, not having to use it there. Montreal getting first. It wasn't a blazingly fast time, but their poke on triple DPS was so strong. Naga and Gods just getting so much value.
So Montreal getting through point A rather quickly. And remember, to get a decisive 2-map lead in the series, 1 map away from the sweep, all they have to do is get to the middle of point B, and they have 5 minutes to do it.
A lot of time available for them. And look at this very, very sneaky rotation that Naga and Tinsa are trying to do. They're going to try to go over the tank here. They're going to try to set up. Oh, he misses the setup. The EMP's out. Now he drops the barrage. It's fine anyways. Yep. A little bit of a blunder there with the E, but it works out.
Still totally fine. Naga there at the cleanup. Set up by the EMP of Logix. And how do you think Logix is going to stand the Sombra here? It's a clean sweep. There's a lot of momentum from Montreal. I think there's no reason really to swap.
I don't think there's a reason to swap at all. If anything, Montreal goes Sombra Goats and just play for that one fight, because they need one fight to win the map, and they have their win condition. Doesn't have to go very far because of the high ground, how close it is to the high ground in particular. There's a lot of easy setups for Sombra. So I don't think Logic swaps even when Montreal is forced to the Sombra Goats.
He's super early dragging out here for Gods. Usually have to split the opposition. They almost get a pick-off as a result. Super low on the other side. However, second win, able to turn the tide themselves and Sombra. They use the EMP, they bring it back the other way, and second win, likely now going to be forcing some big swaps at Montreal.
I hope Montreal just make the swaps onto Sombra Goats. I think they need to get off everything else. Just keep Logix on the Sombra. Counter Sombra very, very good when Izar's on Sombra as well.
They don't stay on the Sombra.
You just need one fight. Okay, well, don't stay on the Sombra. That's fine. They still have so much time. They have time to build up their combo. I would have liked to see the Sombra come out, but this is still equally as valid. Maybe because Hidan is on the Ana, so something a little bit more valuable here against that Sombra setup.
I mean, regardless from Montreal, they still have 3 minutes left to get forward. Early Shadow going to be coming out from Frill. Fox plenty to the ground here. Going to be forcing out the Transcends early from Montreal, which means that, guess what, when grab comes up, they're going to be a good spot. But Shriek, moving forward, already gets one. Second win, not getting as much from that as you might think for how promising that beginning was.
The boop there, so key actually, getting Tinsa back into there. Hello, I'm Halo, getting the boop, getting back into the bomb for Barbecue.
They're under real pressure right now. Montreal moving in. They might be down Tensa, but still threatening. Second win beats the victim. Away from the point here sooner rather than later. Shriek builds up Shatter midway through the fight. Looking for it. Under pressure, moving forward. He's gonna drop here. No, gonna get EMP'd in the back. It drops Shatter response EMP. He wasn't hit by the EMP as he went in. Second win investing a lot here. And it is gonna pay off with the barrier at the very end. Montreal, though, they have to feel okay about that. They got plenty of resources out of second win, and now we have a pause.
We have a pause coming out. Montreal can feel confident with that fight. They were able to get point presence, get the EMP, get beat out with a Shatter that really didn't catch anyone, even got the Diva Bomb as well. And I think if you're second win, you can feel a little, I think you have to be a little bit upset that you didn't get more value from your hack Shatter. That's what they set up earlier. When you see Frill use that Shatter on the high ground, it was off the hack from Izar. Really well set up. That's a value hack. You're able to get the Shatter off, force the Transcendence, but you didn't get anything else. You didn't really get anything, and then you had to invest the beat later in the fight. Had to invest the bomb later in the fight. The EMP as well. So you don't want to use that many ults when you already had a great combo earlier.
And the problem is too is that normally if they didn't have to worry about holding at second, it would still be okay, right? They've still had an okay second defense. The problem is they need a great second defense. They have to continually stay ahead on ultimate economies. So plays like that, missed opportunities, can come back and haunt them. Where again, remember, this is first to 3 entire playoff season on the line. So should they lose on Blizzard World here, it's going to be very difficult for them to bring this back.
We do not know what the pause reason may be for the teams. It could be any manner. It could be internet, could be PC. It could be bathroom even. We really don't know.
It's a mix of many things, but while we're sitting here speculating as to why there may be a pause, I have an observation. It's been bugging me for a while, and I think I've finally figured it out.
Bring it to the fore.
Looking at the Montreal Rebellion logo, reminds me of something you'd see in a Zelda game. Like, it feels like it looks like a high roll logo of some form or another. Am I just going crazy?
I can see it. I can definitely see where you're going for there. And as you bring that up, out of the pause,
That's the trick. You bring up something completely unrelated to banter on, and they have no choice but to
They have
resume the
no
game.
choice but to get back into the game. So Montreal still on this offense. They have a little over 2 minutes there to push. Not a lot of ults in the bank for second win after that fight. And Logic is coming up on the grab. Gods does have the bomb. This is an opening for Montreal, especially if they can kite. If they can run away from Hidan and Nano.
Oh, Logic's getting real close to grab. They're going to use Rally early. I think ideally Gods would like to wait for Logic to get grab up. Nice bound end.
Look at them running them away. Look at them run away from the Nano.
Yeah, well, particularly running away too. Not just Nano, but Shriek is going to be able to get healed if you start taking damage. But now the Nano is gone. It's a very good disengage. They can move it back in. Logic's going to have the Graviton up. So now you must look to Logic's here. Graviton combo in reserve, second win. A very, very tense spot here in Blizzard World. And the Shatter going to be connecting here from Phil. Knocks down 2. Gods using the bomb to cover. Right to the back. Second win still healthy. A bomb of their own to the other side. It's not going to get much. 5 on 5. Shriek grabbing the Shatter. Putting Barbecue straight to the floor. And this is getting incredibly tense right now.
And right now they're just trying to clean up post-Shatter. They're on the point. The Nano out again, but they're so low. The spawns, they need to come back. Shriek just swinging. And this is just clean up.
And that's going to be it. Montreal taking Blizzard World up 2-0 now over second win.
Montreal, so far, their triple DPS has looked really, really good. They knew how to exploit the bunker, make them rotate initially, get the spam up for Naga, and then make the swaps when they needed to. And when you look at the crux for this fight for second win, be Montreal there when the second hold, it's because in the fight previous, they used too many ults. They used way too many ults off of what was a good setup with the hack Shatter.
And realistically speaking, they were in that sort of tough situation because their offense just didn't do enough. When your offense doesn't get deeper onto the map, what you end up dealing with is a situation where, okay, now your defense has to be way above reproach and you have no room for errors. And that's basically what you're referring to, is you have small errors that under normal circumstances, not a big deal. But when you have to hold on second, it comes back to haunt you in a big way. So second wind find themselves in the same situation that Chicken Contenders did just a little bit ago, where now they must reverse sweep. They want to keep their playoff hopes alive and get that matchup with Fusion University. And second win, we'll see if they can hold true to their name. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we could be the conclusion. Map 3 going to be heading right to you.